Hi everybody. This is day 1230. 1230. Let me go on Facebook and see if everything is working. If I'm on. It looks like I am. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is I see here my clock says it's 9:29 p.m. in El Paso, Texas. So I don't want to go over the time today because we want to watch The Price of Justice that will be on ABC 7 at 10 p.m. Uh, Mountain Time, or yeah, Mountain Standard Time. So please uh, understand that this is a huge break. Um, uh, maybe we'll see. We'll see how ABC 7 handles it. We're very, very curious to watch it because it involves Richard's case. And, of course, they've, remember Nadal Baim? Shh, you can't mention Richard. You can't mention Richard at all, Major General Eisenhower, Sean Bernabe. Uh, you can't mention him. Um, there's a seal on this case. I don't know what kind of seal it is. I don't know if it's court appointed. I don't know if there's a gag order. There seems to be some kind of gag order. There seems to be some kind of seal on this case. And there's good reason for that. We're at 1,230 days since Richard. Um, well, uh, let's just say that's a roundabout number of Richard's escalation of the retaliation against a whistleblower, the very Vanessa Guillen, first absent soldier, um, and that led to his murder. And, I don't say that lightly. I'm not allowed to have emotions on these live streams because we're trying to stay very, very focused to break the case in order to find Richard and bring Richard's remains home to us. But all the evidence, and I want everyone to know that this was not what we wanted the evidence to point to. And I have proof that that's not what we wanted because when we were in El Paso, when we were doing the rallies, and the media was paying attention at that time, um, I told the media, this is the first time in my motherhood that I hope that Richard is a jerk because that would mean that he was alive. And my sister said, "You didn't say that to the media." And I said, "I did. I absolutely did because it's true. It's absolutely true." And, because he could rally, he was young enough. He could, you know, um, when you're that young, when you're 20 years old, 21 years old, you can, you know, you can change your life again. But the truth of it, that's a fake narrative because the truth, where the evidence is pointing, is that Richard uh, seems he's a total hero. A total hero. He's not a jerk at all. He's not a criminal. He was trying to protect children. He was trying to protect a young mother. He was trying to protect our country from being taken advantage of with the weapon smuggling. Um, so, and I think I'll play it tomorrow since we are, so short of time. but make sure. Yeah. Um, but I will say this: I was sent Alex Jones's broadcast today. I believe it was in the third hour. If you're a if you listen to him, if you want to know what he's talking about, but I was sent his third hour where he is interviewing, and I didn't write down the name of this lady, but she's a whistleblower. She's a whistleblower out of the Emergency Intake Center in California, but she mentions several emergency intake center and how these children are being trafficked at the expense of the American people, and that the government officials, um, she quoted what her boss had told her, that it's okay, we just got to move these kids out because the traffickers do not sue us, you know. So she was more afraid of anyone that was going to sue than just going ahead and letting the traffickers have these children to uh, traffic them for sex, for cheap labor, and also to supply those that want the children to do whatever they're doing with these children. And yeah, so that is all being exposed. And Ann Ogle and Claudia Guerra. I know Claudia Guerra had a position there at CPS, the Child Protective Services, that would answer, I believe, two calls on Fort Bliss. And then, of course, Ann Ogle, she's the one that is really responsible. And I think she needs to be questioned, maybe more than that, about her role as the administrator of CYS, Child Youth Services, because the welfare of the children at the emergency intake, the migrant emergency intake center, was under her obligation. She was obligated. That's why we pay her. Um, and why didn't she report things, right? And also, she uh, worked as a professor, and I think she still does, at Park University. And so she absolutely knows Leilani Hart. She absolutely knows or knew Richard. She was having a very, very, very close relationship with DES, Thomas Kane, and was even in business with him. She was even um, affiliated with New Mexico State University in Las Cruces. Um, and, of course, with Raven Aerostar, working for Raven Aerostar. She had her own businesses. She was at New Mexico State University. She was at Park University. She was at CYS, and then Raven Aerostar. Wowzer! I mean, she must be, just a Wonder Woman, and then having this close relationship. But uh, yeah. So, and Leilani Hart was all over Park University, and in this group, absolutely in this group. And Leilani Hart and James Hart, um, they had their, I guess, it seems to me, where all the evidence is leading, had a group. And of course, Leilani Hart's group was there at the CID with Tavita Nusa, with Dirty Agent Marlon Soto, and others, Clem Coward, I would say Jay Paulin, I would say Ann Ogle, I would say Thomas Kane, I would say, and of course their little groups, their little cliques overlapped a bit. And I would say that James Hart group is over there in the VA with Amber Chase and Lisa Williams, and also Lisa Mitchell, and um, there was another Mitchell, um, which was a Leilani person. Um, so they have their groups, and I'm just putting this out there that it does explain why, because there's a few more people that I haven't mentioned. Um, um, it does explain how they could carry something like this um, out. Of course, you have 3905 Bliss Avenue. Do not ever forget that address that connects all of them with the medical examiner, Dr. Mario A. Ruscone Ortiz, and of course, Danae Katzen and her family, and Belen Rocha and her family, and Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia from the Walmart case, and her son Thomas, and um, Felix Valenzuela, who is the defense attorney for Patrick Crucius, Patrick Wood Crucius. So all of this is, you know, connected, and they want to take advantage of El Paso, destroy El Paso. Um, I'm not buying. I've been reading more and more about this whole Walmart case. We're in discussions with some other people about it that were there, that reported on it, that wrote about it, and they feel they gave their opinions on Yvonne Rosales and her handling of it, which was pretty much positive. I mean, look at, you couldn't get worse than Bill Hicks, right? And I don't understand why Bill Hicks was was appointed unless he was appointed to do nothing, because he hasn't seemed to do anything. They don't even have a date to for a court hearing. So the money is just, the spigot is open for the taxpayers to pay the money, to these defense attorneys, to the prosecute, to the system, and they're raking in millions of dollars from the taxpayers' money for years, 4 years, and this is after they have been traumatized by a mass shooting. And so it really is cold blooded. It really is cold blooded that they can't have quick, uh, quick justice in this case when they have the murderer, right? So they tell us. And what this does for me, maybe I'm getting too cynical. Okay, maybe I have to check every little thing and question every little thing now, since we were so lied to by Veronica Escobar, by the Army Command, by the CID, by so many we've been lied to, right? By FBI informants. We've been so lied to, and Danae Katzen, of course. Um, so now I'm getting kind of, I scrutinize everything. And I'm absolutely scrutinizing Felix Valenzuela, Joe Spencer, and Bill Hicks, and Jaime Esparza in their handling of the Walmart case and of our son's case, because they are intertwined. You can't separate them. They are like Siamese twins. One is connected to the other, and there's no way to get around it. I didn't want that to be. I didn't search that to be, but that's how it is. These same people, including the medical examiner, including 3905 Bliss Avenue, including Felix Valenzuela, including, I guess, Patrick Crucius. Okay. And how would he be connected to our son's case? And, to me, it's like, okay, is he connected to the military? How is he connected to the military? And, where did he get these weapons, and where did he get the ammunition? And is that available out there? Um, or do they want to hide that? Because I don't see too much transparency when it comes to Patrick Crucius's case. Being said that, I just feel like they're hiding a lot. They're hiding a lot of what happened on August 3rd, 2019. And I think, Patrick Crucius, looking at pictures and pictures and pictures of him and being an educator, uh, I don't know. Does anybody know if he has any kind of learning disability? I just being around so many students, myself, and working with autistic children, also Down syndrome children, I just, I just have this question. Um, and I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just looking at all these pictures and I'm just curious. I'm just scrutinizing, uh, and would like for Team Find Richard Halliday out there to help me um, understand this case and what happened at the Walmart. What happened there? Because we're not being told, and they do not want to have this case, um, in a court. And I don't even, I've been looking for this divorce information to come out, and that hasn't been coming out. And if they're going through divorce and they're hiding it, they're keeping it under wraps, I think that's breaking the law. I think that's breaking the law. See, we are a democracy, we are a republic, right? And that means that we have transparency. That means that we have to keep an account of everything going on and how people's money is being spent and what is happening with that money. And so it's interesting, because our experience is that they rather keep uh, they rather commit crimes than tell us where our money is going, what our money is going for, and let us see it for ourselves. Because this emergency intake worker that became a whistleblower said she had no idea. They were telling, she had this image that she was going to help put these children in good families and play some puzzles with them and whatever. She had no idea that they were being trafficked, and that they were being trafficked to gang members, to cartel members, to people that were up to no good, and that they knew that they were up to no good, that they were, unreliable, unreliable sponsors, just like Leilani Hart is an unreliable source, because she's a convicted criminal, and these sponsors were convicted criminals with long criminal histories, like Leilani Hart, long criminal history. Yet the boss is like Bob Moore. Uh, well, the cartels, these traffickers, they don't sue us. I they don't ask questions, so I can keep my, even though I'm violating my 501c3, I can keep it, even though I can get away with violating the standards for it. But and absolutely, so we have confirmation that the IRS is looking into Bob Moore now because of our no, I don't know if it's because of but it has to have had a little bit of impact on our complaints to the IRS, um, and to more and to more. So I think that is newsworthy right there, that he is being investigated, because we're being told that if we want to find Richard's remains, we could go to De- uh, Sarah Deborah West, and or Deborah Sarah West. Whew, everything is kind of coming together, but and they seem to have a connection. And this whole plane thing, this Cessna 550, this whole plane thing, it's all kind of coming together, and it seems to be grabbing onto Bob Moore also. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Bob Moore could answer us, but we've been writing him and writing him and writing him, and he doesn't even have the courtesy to respond. And what does that tell you? You know, that tells you that in that respect, he's up to no good. So, you know, and we have filed letters to complain to the IRS about his 501c3 status. You would think that he would want to clear the air and correct the very bad obstruction of justice article that he published, and make a correction, so that we could get on with finding Richard's remains and the perpetrators who did this. So we're working very hard on that, and the problem for the law enforcement agencies that took Richard's complaint and did nothing, is that, or they retaliated against him instead of doing what they were supposed to do, which I posted up today too. I'm gonna go on a tangent a little bit, um, because Newt Gingrich said that the government has to be forced to investigate, and forced to question witnesses, or the witnesses need to be forced to testify. And I thought that was very interesting. And he was talking about the Hunter Biden case. And in Richard's case, absolutely, we have been told by Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe, who needs to be stripped from his uniform and stripped from his stars, because he's just such a treasonous betrayer. Absolutely. Uh, so, but we were told by him that the Army has to be driven to do the right thing. And so this is what Newt Gingrich is saying, that the system has to be driven. They have to be compelled. They have to be forced to do their job. They will not just do their job on their own. They have to be forced, especially when it comes to these law enforcement cases, where so much money is at risk. And a lot of money is at risk because if you have corruption at the highest levels, and they're making money with the child pornography, with the child trafficking, with the weapons smuggling, with the narcotics trafficking, and more, then you're not going to really want that to move too much. You're not going to want to get that prosecuted so much. You don't want to get the crimes identified and the criminals identified and documented so that it could be prosecuted. You don't want that to happen. And so then you use your wealth to sabotage sabotage the the justice system. And so we've absolutely have seen that. And therefore, if they're going to do that in Richard's case, I believe they've done that in the Walmart case. And that's why it's taking so long for them to even get some evidence together, and so long to, that they don't even have a court date yet. But all the while, they're spending millions of dollars making this go forth and go forth and go forth. So, um, you know, discovering what happened in the Patrick Crucius case at the Walmart on August 3rd, 2019, and before that, because something had to have happened in Patrick Woods Crucius's life for him to do what he did. And what are his connections? Who is he connected to? What was his goal? Because media is telling us, we only have 4 minutes. The media is telling us that it's because he's some white supremacist, right? With some kind of manifesto. But the actions of that day, and how he responded in court, do not fit well to the narrative of the white supremacist and of the manifesto. He didn't separate anybody out when he went into the Walmart and say, okay, Caucasians stand here, and Mexicans stand over here, and this is, I'm going to pick who I shoot at. He didn't do that. The witnesses all say that he went in there and he just started shooting, like he was in some kind of video game, right? Some kind of Call of Duty video game. So, but that wasn't Call of Duty video game. It was real life, and real people got killed. Real people got killed. And I don't know if Joe Spencer understands that. I don't know if Felix Valenzuela understands that, the trauma and the hurt of that. And to even bring in more trauma and try to milk the very people that are victims in all of this, the El Pasoans, um, is really despicable. It really is. And so we have 3 minutes to see uh, ABC 7 News on the cost of justice. And so I want to give everyone some time to watch that. And I will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much. God bless you. Please share. The time is now to share, 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 because we're very, very close and everything is crumbling around Leilani Hart. And if everything is crumbling around Leilani Hart, then that means the case is breaking open. So thank you so much. God bless you. And also James Hart, James Hart. It's all, yeah, he's up to no good too. Anyway, thank you so much, and I will be back tomorrow, God willing.